I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the land on which this podcast is recorded today. Also pay respects to the elders past and present, and extend that respect to any other Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who may be listening today. This is Melanated in Melbourne, a podcast designed to give an insightful look into the Australian lifestyle from the lens of two Black American besties. Me. All right.
You.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
But you said.
I did say. It was me warming up my vocal cords because my voice is now an instrument of destruction. My name is Richard.
And I'm Nicole.
And this is Melanated in Melbourne.
Melanated in Melbourne.
I'm glad to see that you survived this heat wave of a weekend,
Oh my
Nicole.
God, I know my vocal cords. I thought they were going to be stretched in the scorch of the hot sun here in Australia.
Were you breathing into the sun? Like, how do you scorch your breath?
I just go outside with my mouth open wide.
Speaking of mouth open wide, we are here with our very special guest.
Come on, segue.
Our dear friend Drew has returned to the studio with us today.
Hooray for Drew! Yay!
And thank you for having me back.
Of course, you're actually our first guest to return to the podcast. How does it feel?
We always knew I was special.
Period. Exactly that.
Yes, well, and the evidence is evidenting.
Exactly.
But we actually have a bunch of new things going on for us. First of all, our website has officially light.
Yes, our website.
Our website
has launched, so you can't just go ahead and jump on and give it a visit, all right? Send all your comments and your questions. Richard's been here too long. That was fun.
It slipped out. Like sometimes my Texas accent will slip out. Like that one just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh God, oh no, it's happening. Watch out, everyone. 7 years is with a point that it starts to you can't even control it anymore.
One of us.
Speaking of one of us, have you done your citizenship application yet?
Nope, sure haven't.
Is anyone counting? How many times have I asked this on air? I think this is 4. 5
I think
now?
so.
Well, I hope by the time this airs, you've done so, because if not,
Wait, how long have you had the right to apply?
Probably a couple of years, yeah.
Nicole,
I've been here 6 years, so...
She got her PR...
in 2021, so...
And so that she's been more eligible than I was, and when I did mine, I walked her through the process, and she opened a tab.
I opened a tab, and then I closed it, so I forgot. And then I got a new passport, so I have to go take that in. If you are angry that I have not applied for my citizenship, if you can visit our website at melanatedinmelbourne.com because it's now live and ready to go. What do you think, Richard?
I think that's a wonderful, wonderful segue because you know what else will be on our website soon?
Yes.
Merch.
Yes.
Yay. We are current. Like by the time this airs, we should already have it all set out. But we just ordered some of the proofs.
Yes.
We've got some tote bags, little singlets. We've got or tank tops for our American listeners.
Tank tops.
We've got little mugs. Specifically, it's okay to be white mugs.
Poppers.
Poppers are pending. Poppers are pending. Everyone, if you don't know what it is, just Google it. But actually, what merch are you most excited for?
I want a Melanated in Melbourne waffle maker. I'm gonna
for chicken and waffles.
For waffles, I don't know why.
Just for waffles, not chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
Wait, do you not eat chicken and waffles, Nicole?
I mean, no, I definitely do. I just don't. I wish that piece of technology existed to give me both at the same time.
Oh.
I'm just being greedy.
So that is an air fryer.
Yes.
And a waffle
with
maker.
a waffle maker in the back.
Yeah.
Ooh, like a combo.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe that's $1 million idea. Maybe we'll do that.
Hey.
Like the George Foreman Grill. Hi, we're Rashad and Nicole, and this is our chicken and waffle maker.
I'm so sorry. I cannot attach my name to that.
What?
That would be the most stereotypical thing in the entire world. I will help you produce it. I'll be behind the scenes, but my name is not going on a chicken and waffle combo maker.
And on the top, it has a watermelon holder if you just want to.
With the grape juice attachment.
Yay. I love it. Make it happen.
Absolutely not. But early in the season, we did mention we wanted to play a few more games. So I actually showed up to the studio with a game for the two of you.
Yay! Games.
I can't play because obviously I know the answer to this, but we're going to play Aussie or Not. Here we come. And
Oh.
essentially, where I'm just going to give you a list of celebrities, and you're going to tell me if they're Australian or if they are not. You don't have to know where they are from, but a lot of them do Australian accents occasionally. So it's like if they're convincing, I'm like, oh shit, is that a real one or not? We will just jump right in.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, hopefully I know who these are.
I figured you might not, so I also wrote down some of the things they've been in.
Oh,
And
okay, cool.
Also, you're welcome to pull out your phones if it really stumps you. The first person.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Speaking of whipping out, this first character whipped it out on True Blood.
Oh,
Ryan Quantine, Aussie or not?
Wait, which
Right.
character was that
Sookie's
on?
brother.
Suki's brother. Oh, the one.
Yes.
The one.
The
Okay.
delicious one.
Okay, so
yes.
Ryan Kwan.
He's got this
Quantum?
like cornbread vibe to
Oh,
him.
he
so
does.
I'm gonna say American.
He's really cute. No, he looks like a little he's from a small town in Arkansas.
It's a small town.
Yeah,
American.
I don't know. He's
both-
like
Corn-fed boy.
corn-fed Nebraska.
You're both locking in American? Or
Yeah,
just like
well,
not
I
Aussie?
am.
I'm okay. American. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
You were both incorrect. He is Australian.
What?
I know.
What?
I looked up a list of
No.
I believe. Hold on, let me pull it back up. I believe he's from Sydney, but no. So Ryan Quantine
Oh
is
my
Australian.
God.
Okay, from where?
He is from. Are you New South Wales? Tell me New South Wales.
Sydney. He was born in Sydney, New South Wales.
Bang, bang.
Wow.
Okay.
So currently, you're both at 0 equally.
OMG.
To get started to the gate.
But he really snuck through because I was like, no, he's like, he one of them
southern
good old
accent-
boys.
His southern
It's
accent was so
that
good on the
drawl.
show.
He one of them good old boys. I thought he
Method
had like a
acting.
Dukes of Hazzard car and everything like that.
I do think Aussies are better at the American accent, mostly because no one's paying you to do the Australian accent. So like if you want to be famous, you have to do American, you have to do British, you have to do those accents well.
Correct.
So it's impressive. The second person is
Okay.
Kate Winslet, most famously known for Titanic.
Okay, no, she's British. I will be really upset right now.
No, but
if
the choice was American or Australian.
Oh no, this is Aussie or not. It's just Aussie or not.
Aussie or not.
Aussie or
No,
not.
I'm fairly okay, but yeah. No, I'm locking in she's British.
I'm gonna say not Aussie.
Okay.
Yeah, not Aussie.
The answer is not Aussie. She is British. You're
Thank
correct.
you.
1-1. But you're gonna have to switch it up, otherwise you're gonna end in a tie. Honestly, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I'm just glad that I knew who that.
At least you knew.
know
All
who
right.
she was.
The next person is Jeffrey Rush, most famously known as Barbossa in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, I'll let Drew go first.
I don't even know who this person is, so I'm gonna say Aussie.
Yeah, correct. He definitely is Aussie. Like I know. Yeah, I'm really, really certain of it because I have a friend who had the same agent as him. So and he's like, it'd be the curse of the Black Pearl.
Wait, before we get into this, you've never seen Pirates of the Caribbean. He's the main pirate from the first and
I
second.
thought it was Johnny Depp.
No,
I mean, technically
the main
speaking,
bad,
yes.
the main bad pirate. Air quotes.
Yeah, he's actually
Okay.
and he's a bad person in real life. So he's been canceled.
I believe that.
been canceled.
He's a canceled Australian. Yes,
He's
Jeffrey Rush is from Queensland,
Canceled Australian.
which makes sense why he's canceled. I mean, realistically, I know we got Queensland listeners, but y'all know,
It
not all
tracks.
Queenslanders, but there's a reason.
It tracks. It tracks.
That actually makes you tied again. So the next question is
Yay.
Isla Fisher.
Oh, she's Aussie.
Oh, my girl Isla. Yeah, my girl Isla. She's
I know
that. Yeah,
that
she's
one for a
Australian. True blue Australian. Final answer, Regis.
You're also locking in. Technically, yes.
Technically.
Technically,
Don't do
yes.
this. Don't do
No,
that.
technically, yes. She was born in the Middle East and grew up in Scotland and moved to Perth when she was like 5. So she has the accent. She grew up here, but she's not technically
Oh
Australian.
my gosh.
I'm just here to fuck with y'all.
Oh my gosh.
No.
You can't say no to it. I refuse.
Isla, text me back, girl, because I never knew this. You never told me none of this. I did not even realize.
Well, surprise, surprise. Oh, now you're both tied.
We really are both tied.
Because
Yay!
we're like this.
Because you're like this. The connection.
Exactly.
Just the silent telepathy.
Libra siblings.
Oh, that's
7
right.
days.
1 week apart. Look at yous. For the final question, a very, very easy one. Sarah Snook.
Who?
Oh. She was in Succession.
Didn't see that one.
She
either.
was
The sister in Succession. Predestination, prestidigitation, something.
Nope.
No? Well, I guess you have to redhead. You have to blindly guess.
Not
Is she
Aussie.
not
Not
Aussie?
Aussie? She's Aussie.
Locked in? Locked in?
That's locked in. Wait, hold on. And this is where the tide changes. Drum roll.
Oh, that's
Oh
true.
my
We gave different
gosh.
answers. Someone's right and someone's wrong. She is Aussie.
Bing, 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 bing.
Okay.
Is that Mortal Kombat?
I won.
That sounded like Mortal Kombat. It was like, wow, really? Finish him.
Yes, exactly.
Well, congratulations, Nicole, for winning our first Aussie or not. Here we come. Do better next time, Drew. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, what prize do I get for losing? Because I still played the game.
Oh,
The prize of friendship.
which is a great segue into our subject today. Because friendship is hard to come by, especially out in these outbacks. Okay, streets.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could have said
Yeah.
the Aussie streets.
Yeah, the Aussie streets.
Streets down under.
Here in the outback. We're not in the outback.
No,
though.
thank God, because I would not
I wouldn't
survive.
survive either.
I'm a survivor. That's why I don't
I
live
wouldn't.
out there. But no, you are fully right. This episode is essentially community part 2 because earlier in the season we discussed being as authentic as we could be,
Correct.
given the highs, lows, and everything about creating friendships and building those bonds. But we also haven't talked about maintaining those bonds and what it looks like when sometimes those bonds are not forever. And yeah, I guess more community. Like you can't just be one and catch all. That's a weird. So that's a weird. I don't even know what happened with those words. They just said
No.
they fell out of my mouth.
Well, in order to make friends, open your mouth. No, but I get what you're saying. You're essentially saying you can't go on autopilot with friendships.
Correct.
It takes active energy and cultivation and care that goes into them in order to maintain them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But how did you want to start? Because I know you were very excited for this episode.
You already know which part is waiting on my heart.
Okay.
So I'm happy for us to.
Okay.
We don't have to jump into it first because that's a pretty big piece
Yeah.
of cake.
Okay. I'll see. Let me see. What about you, Drew?
Okay. So I was on the first community episode.
You were on the
No,
dating
dating
episode.
You were on the dating
Yeah.
episode. Kelly was on Community.
Oh, right. Okay. So actually, I would say that due to my recent breakup, I'm single, people.
Hey.
No. Well, yes, but no. Over the last couple of weeks, my community has truly shown its colors of care and concern. And like you guys have already said, community is much more than just the people that you hang out with or have a good time with. Your community is, well, your community are the people around you that will have your back no matter what. Like last night.
Who had your back last night?
And your front?
So I did a Sunday sesh, Southside,
Cute.
did both of the locations. And at the first location, we're like an hour into it or something, and this song came on. I could not tell you what the song was. I bawled. It just like happened out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But that's when my community stepped up and like it was just I hate to say like a magical I'm going to say that it was a magical moment because just being able to cry in a crowded bar and it is hot. It was amazing. But it's also very cathartic and I was able to release something that I didn't know that I was carrying. But to the fact of my community just pulled me aside. And even though we were all having a good time, everyone stopped and showed care and concern for me in that moment. So that's truly what community is. That is truly what your chosen family is.
Correct. Correct.
So
To catch you in those vulnerable moments and not be like,
Don't make it weird. Just accept it as another part of you.
yeah, but it was like weird because like it just came out of nowhere because of this random song. I don't even know the lyrics of the song or whatever it was. It was just like,
but the sound itself.
and it just like, boop, cry, and then all the boys just like, oh,
Yeah.
and it was like, that's community.
Yeah. And were questions asked? Or was it like, nah, they're there?
No one asked. Like there was nothing to
Period.
ask. I mean, everyone knows. I'm
Correct.
writing a book,
But
like,
that's the best part of just being able to feel in that moment and not have to like
explain to anyone.
explain to anybody.
And the fact that your community is around you and like you can have something happen and everyone's just like just there. There was no rhyme, there was no reason. It was just like how can we support you?
That's so good. That's everything.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm glad you got that moment. It's so good to be around friends that you don't have to explain things to, and you don't have to pretend to feel a different way when you don't, especially in that moment, because it's like waves.
Yeah.
Like with anything, it's waves. With grieving, anything. Yeah. Some moments are fine. Other moments, like, it'll be triggered like that. So it's good to have people who will catch you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I definitely have to fully agree with that one. And I think for me, one of the things that I've learned within doing the podcast in the last few years of just heavily leaning into community and being like, I want to jump forward and I want to do all these things, is sometimes when you make the decision, when you're like I guess love so openly and you welcome all these people in, sometimes you welcome people in that don't fully match. Sometimes that doesn't fit, and sometimes you have to do maintenance on those friendships. Otherwise, it's just assuming that what was good a year ago is still going to be good now, without understanding that everyone is constantly evolving. The world is always on fire. People have their own priorities, and without rechecking in, like, sometimes there'll just be a bit of clashing. And for me, at least last year, I have had relationships where they seemed like they were going to be rock solid forever, and something felt shaky, and sometimes we were able to talk about it, and it was like, cool, I see where you are, you see where I am, and we were able to work through it. And other times, it's like, I see where you are, you see where I am, and this looks like we're just on diverging paths. And like, that's been actually really an eye-opening experience for me, because two of the friendships that I'm talking about in question were pretty lengthy friendships. Like, I've known them for a few years, and one I was able to continue, and the other one we amicably said goodbye to. And I think being able to have both those conversations and those outcomes being what they were was it was a bit surreal for me to be like, oh, we just had a very professional friend breakup. Like, it was really strange, because one of these people was like, oh yeah, if I were to ever get married, I saw this person standing by my side at my wedding. So as these things kind of started deteriorating, and we would keep talking, and there was no real positive conclusion for it, it was like, does this mean that we just don't be friends anymore? And it was like, yeah, I mean, I guess so. And it's like, oh, well, all right. And it was shitty, but at the same time, it was great to like hug it out and like walk away.
I have a question.
Wait, what's your question?
In all of that, it still was a positive experience. And that, not that it's crazy, but have we evolved to that next level of adulthood where we can actually come to an agreement to disagree, and like that just be that? Because back in high school or the younger years,
yeah,
there
of
been
course,
so much drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a few thoughts with that. I think when you're younger, your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed. It doesn't develop until you're like 25, and that's where all your decision-making skills and emotional regulation are at in your brain. So when you're younger and you're feeling this like big swell of emotion, you don't necessarily know how to regulate it, and definitely don't know how to communicate it and think logically, like, oh, I'm feeling these things. I can't even see the other person's perspective, so I'm just going to yell and scream kind of thing. I think when you get older, you're able to see things from like all sides, and you're able to communicate more clearly.
Absolutely. I would agree to that to some extent. So you said, are we to that point? I think some of us are. I don't think that everyone is, because sometimes there's those conversations that you bring to the table, that ideally amicable thing. And the person that I had the friend breakup with is also a mature person and had the capability of like, yes, I'll meet you at the table. I also see this thing. But if it's because it's a two-way street, we all have to be mature enough to have that conversation. If people are not ready for it, people can only meet you as far as they met themselves. So if they are saying, like, oh, I'm mad at you for doing this, what you did, whether or not it was good, bad, or otherwise, their reaction to it and how they move forward after that will tell a lot about where they are sitting. And sometimes those people are not ready yet. But I think as a whole, I would like to say a lot of us are like in this rough age group we are, but it's not a steadfast rule necessarily. Yeah. But I also think one of the things that I learned going through this, because we've all been new here, we talked about in the community episode how quickly we form friendships and how we're like, oh, it feels like I've known you for 10,000 years, because we have all these experiences together very quickly. But the downside of that is you have not been friends for that long. So while you have a lot of memories and experiences together, you may not know each other as well as mutually you would have thought so. So there have definitely been instances for me where I've been out with a friend group, or I've been talking to a friend, and they've started to pull it back because they felt the connections that we had were not as deep as I saw them. So a lot the way that I was carrying myself was like, oh yeah, that's one of my best friends, whatever, and I was just one of their friends. Like we were getting to get there, but because I saw the friendship deeper than they did, there was a bit of clash and miscommunication that we were able to work through. But I think that was really eye-opening for me because just because I see someone as one of my best friends does not mean it's both ways. And what people value as best friendship, what that means, how they carry themselves, how they show up for each other is also very different. And that's communication, a conversation you need to be having with people a lot more ongoingly than I had been in the past.
Okay. I would agree with all of that. And I would like to tag on the fact that you said people showing up for you. I've realized that is the biggest thing. And I don't know, it's the fact that we live here, but having someone show up for you, not just once, constantly, all the time. And I am truly amazed at our friendships. Our friendship group. And like, I'm gonna say it this way, my friends are amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, my friends are fucking amazing, and I love each and every one of you for a multitude of different reasons. And yes, we have this larger group of, I don't know, whatever, but then in our large group, we've got some people that are closer. You've got this 4, that 5, and just like sometimes we cross, sometimes there's a little beef, but then it's the fact that we are so mature enough to come to the table, talk about it, and just continue. Like, we're growing from the children that we were. We are no longer trauma bonding. This is actual bonding.
It's on purpose.
Yeah.
It's purposeful, for sure. Like, because we love spending time with each other. Because I for one, I really love friendships that when it feels like, even though you may not have talked, when you get back together, it feels like no time has passed.
Yeah.
Like, I really love those kinds of friendships, like those easy kind of friendships.
The friendships that don't require like constant maintenance to be like, oh, what are you doing with this, and like you have to explain yourself for living your life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say low maintenance friendships because that makes it sound like being high maintenance is a bad thing. It's kind of tapping on what you're saying. The kind of friendships that understand that we are all living our lives as best we can. And sometimes my best is showing up 10%. Sometimes my best is being there 50%. Sometimes my best is 100%. But there's not a person who will make you feel bad for those lower percentage days.
Totally,
And-
because I've definitely encountered those kind of friends, and it's not like anything that's on purpose. Sometimes life is just kicking your ass. Like, things just happen. You never really know what people are going through. Because one of my friendship breakups last year was because I felt like I was always in debt to them. I was always like, I have to do this thing because otherwise they're going to be angry with me. Otherwise they're going to be mad at me. So I have to do this thing that they've asked me to because I'm worried about losing like footing in the relationship, which is like an insane way to kind of think about things.
Absolutely.
But it was also the way that person was making me feel. That person always made me feel like I was not good enough to be their friend. And that I wasn't good enough in my own craft, because the last thing that we did together was we were trying to put together a social media presence kind of thing. And so we would do content and we would take photos. And one of the last times they reached out to me and they were just like, oh, the photos I took of you were great. The photos you took of me were shitty. And I was like, I'm really sorry that it turned out that way. Like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to.
Or they could just pose better.
I mean, it was like there's a lot of factors. There's like a lot of factors at hand. There's a lot of factors at hand. And I'm a person, I'm like, I'm not too proud to say sorry. Like, if I'm in the wrong, I'm happy to say that I'm sorry. I'm happy to look at things from what I've done wrong. But I apologize. And then this person ended up saying, yeah, well, you need to learn how to work a camera. Like, you need to learn how to use a camera. And
But you're in front of the screen, not behind the screen.
Yeah, and they were just like, actually they said like, oh, it's not your fault. Not everyone knows how to use a camera.
Which is shadier, I think.
Which is shadier because I do have a photography business. I do my food photography and things like that. So I knew it was said to be hurtful. So from that moment, I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to be this person's friend anymore. Like, I just knew it. But I probably could have taken a more direct approach. I probably could have been like, you know what, this friendship's not working. But I was just like, we don't talk all the time anyways. And I just let it peter out.
Yeah.
I guess I have a question for both of you. Based on that, do you feel that some relationship or some connections are not worth the upfront conversation? It's not worth the stress that will come forward? Or should you think you should always be having those conversations just for your own consciousness? Because I have my own feelings about it, but I want to hear how you both feel on the topic. Do you feel those friendships deserve, like, hey, I'm not talking to you anymore because of this, or we're not friends anymore because of this, or is like, just let it be what it is?
So actually, I had a friend, or I don't know if now we're social media friends, which
yes, can relate.
this was she's a beautiful woman. We met in Sydney. We worked together for a bit. And over the years, it just became kind of stressful. So the place that we worked at, it was university, and she needed a reference for her next job. So you know how you pretend to be the reference. Of course.
Hell yeah.
Like, I got
The
you.
best
That is
employee,
community.
The best employee I ever had. The mother I always wanted. The sister I dreamed for.
It was good, right? Okay. I'll do the first one, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, okay.
Second one.
Now we're on the third reference check.
Third reference check.
All these jobs have completed. They all were temp jobs for her.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kept being the reference since I was her original reference out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wait, 3-4 years later, how am I still your reference?
Why don't you have any newer, more relevant references?
Right. So
spread the wealth. Like, go.
Yeah. Or did you just like fuck them over and you're using our friendship? And I'm just like, well, the girl called me in a panic of like, hey, can you do a reference check for me again? Like, whatever. And one, I'm at work.
Yep.
Two, I got my own shit to deal with. And like, I don't know what I said 4 years ago as to the reference. Obviously, I lied. Like, we had the same .com.au email address. Okay, that's legit. But I'm just like, there's got to be someone else. I just felt used and taken advantage of. And this girl stayed in my house for, it was supposed to be like 2 or 3 weeks. It was like 6.
Oof.
It was fine. However, she would wear makeup, and then for some reason she would touch her face.
Oh no. And then she get makeup on things.
No, she would touch the wall.
Oh,
White
not
walls.
the walls, not the walls, bitch.
And I'm like, do you see this right here? She's like, oh, I forgot. And I'm like, there's no excuse.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Especially when you're staying with somebody. It's just like, you have to be that extra courteous.
Yeah,
and
you got to be on your P's and Q's.
If I'm staying somewhere for free, I'm trying to make sure you don't know that I'm here. Like,
Yeah, correct.
Like, oh, I'm gonna make you dinner tonight. I went to the grocery store. I tidied up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going. I'll be home later.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
that whole like, yeah.
So how did that friendship end? Did you end up having a conversation with them?
No. So when it happened, I'm just like, I'm not doing this, and I just didn't have the bandwidth and mental capacity to deal with it. And I kind of feel bad, but then also I don't, because I just think deep down she truly means well and she's a good person, I believe, at heart. But I just couldn't deal with it. And I'm just like, no, this is just not happening for me. So I don't know if we've actually ever spoken, but considering that was the last thing we spoke about, and we haven't spoken since, and it was never really, hey, let's catch up for this or catch up for that. She was in Melbourne once recently, and can I stay at your place? I'm like,
Wow. Nah, there's just some people who are there to put down the soil and the other ones who are there to take the fruit. And when people are just takers, it can be very draining.
wait, was that some like old wives proverb or something?
I've heard something similar to that
Yeah.
before.
Some are there to put down the soil, the other ones are there to take the fruit. Yeah. Some people are givers, some people are takers, and yeah. It's hard having a friendship, but I guess we're probably both going to have the same answer. It depends. I think it depends on the depth of the relationship as well as whether I have the energy. Like if I had a longer friendship with someone and we really have entered into disagreement or the relationship has run its course, then yeah, I would have a conversation with them. But if this is a person who's actually more of an acquaintance by friendship checklist, I probably won't.
So all of that is true, but I thought we did have a deeper connection because we're both Jamaican, like our heritage. So I thought living in Australia and living in Sydney, and then that's a whole beast. And then having someone that I could culturally connect with, I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I was treating her like my little sister. And you're on my couch, and so you gotta go.
Yeah. Self-awareness not there.
No, but then I chalked it up to like her being 6 or 7 years younger than me. So I'm like, okay, that's what you do in your 20s, because that's
Yeah.
But then at a certain point, you have to stop making excuses for someone.
Correct.
And this is not on. You are a user, and I can't have this in my space.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Period.
Very
You
much
gotta
that.
keep yourself first.
And that's my answer as well. So at this point in my life, I am definitely prioritizing my peace more so than I've ever done before. Like I'm happy to be welcoming and all these things, but there's a limit, and I'm practicing my boundaries a lot harder than I've ever done before. I'm like, no, I can't go to that. Sorry. Megan, that's just the end of it. And talking about people that you open the doors willingly just because we have that cultural commonality, and it's just going badly. Like, we have a mutual friend, we'll call them Brandon. We just met on a night out, and I brought him to the Melanated Melbourne group chat, and this person struggled with drinking heavily on weekdays, like a bit of, not necessarily substance abuse, but I guess alcohol is a substance.
Yeah.
So, but when we saw that the first time that happened, it was like, oh, hey, I know you may be nervous, you may be anxious, but we're here for you. We're here to talk to you, be supportive of you, but it's not a good look for you. It's not a good look for any of us. Like, we're here to support you. And they were like, oh, yeah, cool. I know what I'm doing. I'm just choosing not to control my alcohol. I'm just choosing not to regulate myself properly. And then when this person told me that, I was like, as much as I want to be here for you, I'm not, it's not me. So I've seen this person out and about so many times. Like, I'll nod, I'll wave, but we are not friends. I'm not going to have them in my life if you choose to be taken care of instead of taking care of yourself, and you choose to be everyone else's problem. And it was like, we were not close enough for me to be like, hey, I'm not helping you anymore. Figure it out. Like, but my absence was my answer based on what he was doing. And like, that's how I have been with people. Again, there was an acquaintance, could have been a friend, but very early on, it was just like, I want to help you because I know what it's like to be here by myself, to feel alone. But you also have to also put some of the work in. Meet me somewhere because you're just sitting there and it doesn't work.
Yeah, we're in our 30s. We don't have time for babysitting. Like, yes, friendship and community is there to help you get through tough times. If you have troubles, yes, it's supposed to be there for that. However, me having to take care of you and take on all of your problems when you don't even want to work on your problems.
Yeah. You're not my child.
No.
Nah, for real. It's like,
Literally.
like emotional, deep emotional labor. And, don't blame you.
Can I add one more thing to that?
Yeah.
You said deep emotional labor. I am so willing to put down everything for our friend group. It's not even funny. And this friend group has shown me that same deep level of love and connection and the spirit of our community. And like, again, my friends are fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a good place to be in.
like, we just, your shows, right? The first one. And you're just like, oh my God, you guys all showed up. Like,
I couldn't believe I was
yeah.
so
Yeah.
gagged. I was so gagged. Sorry, guys. I perform with the improv team, and we were in this thing called a cage match where were competing against another team. And they're always like, we need to get people in. We need to have people in. And they could not believe how many people showed up for me. They were like, this is the most I've ever seen anyone bring a group of friends. Like, they could not believe it. Like, every time I see them, they mention it, and it was just an unreal feeling because usually you have to like beg and just be like, please, come see me.
The call went out, hey, you're
call
having a
went out.
show.
Yep.
And we're like, where do I go?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Like,
And then followed up. It was like, all right, cool. Well, I'm going to buy these in bulk. Are you sending me money now or later?
Yes.
And then it's like, cool. Here's our tickets. Here's when we're arriving. Pick up at the door. I'm like, cool. Because in my opinion, the way that we're living now, it's a slow crawl to the apocalypse. So everything's on fire. Everything's terrible. Anytime there's an opportunity to spark joy or support a friend in any small, large venture, I'm there. If it's possible without me being like, I'm having to break my arm to get there, I'm in. Like, it's my bat mitzvah. Congratulations. We brought 40 people. It's like, I just learned how to tie my shoes. Look at you, girl, with the Velcro. The Velcro no mo. We're here for you. We're throwing a party.
so
Like, I want to celebrate life as much as possible, and everyone's victories, everyone's accomplishments, everyone's things are worth celebrating. Because at one point, it's going to be an Oscar red carpet. Cool, still showing up. Like, if you do a thing, we're showing up. And like, that's the mentality I bring to my friends, and I love to see that that's a reciprocal thing across the board. And it's been amazing. Like, even the podcast, I'll be out with some of my friends, and Adriana will be like, oh yeah, Rashard and Nicole have this podcast. Like, they will be talking our shit for us everywhere.
Amazing.
And it's just,
And
Fan
they're your
art.
business cards.
Yep. And
Yes.
our friends are our business cards.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But even the
that should be
same.
merch.
Yeah. Our friends are our business cards.
Wait, no, a t-shirt.
Yeah,
Our
but
friends are our business
that even applies to you, Drew, because you have literally taken on such a big role in wanting to be the person we could bounce ideas off of, asking for your time, like, hey, can you help us with this? Can you help us think of things? And it's just like, oh my gosh, it's just like, yeah, you can't ask for
Are
anything
you
better. Best
kidding?
friends.
It's my pleasure.
I mean, no, but
Like-
it's serious. It's real, and it's felt and it's appreciated, because sometimes you will give that, and some people don't even really appreciate it. They just expect you to do that.
Yeah. Well, you're absolutely right. But like, I wouldn't expect anyone in our group to expect anything from us. I expect you to be a good person and be in this group and be present.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I expect.
Yeah.
And we all do that. Outside of that, like, I expect you to do this, that, and the third for me.
No.
What is your
No.
no.
There's no endangered servitude here. Thank you.
Yeah. That's so good. Now, because Miss Devine Joy, she actually just took home the
Best supporting actress?
Best Supporting Actress.
Oh,
She just
amazing.
won. She looks so beautiful. And she said during her Oscars acceptance speech, thank you for the people who stood in the road with me. Thank you for the people who went on the journey with me. Because it was her mother who pointed to the theater across the street and said, there's something for you there. You should go in there. And she went, and then when she saw her acting teacher, and she was just like, I don't see anybody on screen that looks like me. And the acting teacher was like, that's all right. We're going to forge a path for you. Community's everything.
It truly is.
It's everything. It helps people on their journey to where they got to go. So, yeah. So now that we've gotten all the touchy-feely things.
'Cause I'm like, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, I also get that too. It's just like, ugh. But when we had first started this, the nucleus was the group chat, was the melanated, yeah, that's what we're talking about today.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about today.
Listeners, strap in.
Get the strap. When we first started, it was the pond that I was thrown into. Our friend Kristen, shout out to Kristen, put me in there, and it opened me up to all these beautiful people that are now staples in my life. However, last year we had to say goodbye to that group chat.
The group chat died the week the first episode was recorded. And
The first episode was recorded, correct. Yeah.
We talked about it. It was like, well, we can't talk about the first season because we're like,
Nah.
we're trying to build that foundation to understand what the show's about before we're like, everything is great and community is wonderful, but also this terrible thing happened.
Yeah, it was too soon. It was too soon to talk about it. Sometimes it's good to take a little bit of time.
A mourning period.
Yeah.
A mourning period, and just kind of like that. Let the levels settle. Let the dust settle. Let the levels just see where everything is at. So, yeah, no longer in the group chat, no longer a part of it. Drew, you're still technically.
Yes, but I don't. I think I might have unfollowed her.
Yeah, no, it just.
Actually, or is it just like I might be in it and it's just dead?
Yeah, I don't think anything's moving or shaking in there anymore.
Yeah, no. Are we going to talk about all of the capacities of this group chat?
I'm ready to talk about all of it.
You're taking the lead on this, Nicole, because we were there, but it is largely your story to tell, so following your lead.
Okay, because I genuinely didn't want it to feel messy because everybody has different viewpoints on what's happening. But essentially, we got together for a big holiday, which hasn't happened in a very long time. Everybody's got busy, everybody's schedules are different. So this is a thing that we try to hold sacred to us. And originally we were going to go out and do something. But when someone said that they were willing to host, that's when we were like, yeah, that's probably the best bet for us. That way we can hang out with each other. Well, first we couldn't decide on a theme.
Yeah. So first,
that's when the first thing started happening. We were trying to figure out a theme for the day. Some people wanted twinning. Some people wanted cozy, which I loved. I'm like, yes, I want to be in pajamas and feeling cute.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So there was a bit of discord because I guess the person making the party wanted to do something, but not everybody had a twin. Different levels of relationship that were taking place there. We get there. The first thing was actually asked of Rashard. Is like, Rashard, where's the fried chicken? Weren't you going to fry some chicken?
Yeah. Someone else. And because this is a group of black people, like it is kind of okay, but the assumption that I'm going to put in extra labor for an event that was happening last minute was absolutely.
And also across town.
Yeah, and across town. You think I'm gonna lug some hot chicken across Melbourne and be like, "Yep, here you go." The looks that they got from me were, "Fuck out of here."
But if that's what they wanted, why wouldn't you just even ask? You know,
like
just
advance,
request,
yeah.
just request it in advance. But nevertheless, we persisted. More people start coming in. The camaraderie is a bit disjointed because it's like an amalgamation of people who have been there before and then some new people that were met as recently as the night before and just thrown into this group.
Yes.
Which added to the disjointed dynamic. So I'm trying to, because I'm really trying to keep this within certain parameters.
And what parameters are those? Because I know if I reply with something that's outside the parameters, it's gonna fuck it all up. So what parameters are you trying to say?
No, I know. Well, I'm trying to just okay. I'll just speak from my standpoint. So we really want us all to have a good time. Richard has this awesome card game called Black Card Revoked, which has all these questions pertaining to the culture, which is supposed to be a fun, jubilant exchange of opinions. So it's supposed to be taken lighthearted. However, there were some people that were there that were not in the same ethnic group as us. This was a holiday specifically for us. I can say.
Yeah, you can literally just say it.
I can just say Juneteenth.
Yes, you can stop saying yourself.
I can say Juneteenth.
Juneteenth
Juneteenth is the holiday celebrating the emancipation of Black people when slavery ended.
In the last state of Texas.
The very, very last state of Texas. And we were going to play this game, and there are people that were there. And mind you, these girls, they're very nice. They're very nice people. However, when it comes to group discussions on culture and everything, you got to stay in your lane and you got to know when it's your time to add something and when it's not. And it came down to, this is the card. It came down to, in a joking way, which hairstyles are holding people back in the Black community. One was cornrows. The other was dreadlocks. The other was cheap lace fronts. And then the other one was baby hairs on baby people. Baby hairs on adult people. And again, it's supposed to be something that's laughable and everything, but when you have somebody who they don't even go here, offering their opinions and saying yeah, dreadlocks are terrible and they make you look like a hood rat, and you're just wait, now the dynamic is different because this is supposed to be a funny exchange of ideas.
Yeah.
So things got tense with that. And then, ironically enough, somebody there was wearing a cheap lace front, which was always pretty funny to me. But said ironically enough. But that's why I didn't want to vote for it. That's why I didn't want to vote for it, because I didn't want nobody's feelings to get hurt. But during this tense exchange, we kind of realized we should probably just get out of this. Let's just put the card down. Let's just kind of go back to listening to music and drinking and everything. And the group kind of came to that consensus. But during that point in time, I genuinely don't know how it happened or why it was. But we're let's stop talking about hair. And then someone in the group proceeded to reach their hand, grab a chunk of my hair, and yank it. And yank my full head back.
Wait. I thought the person kind of patted your hair or something.
No.
It was a full.
Was
it fake?
It was. They yanked my hair, and I was just first of all, you pull my hair. That's fighting. Is that not fighting?
No, I'm surprised shit didn't go down.
That's fighting. Well, because
for
it is
a non-white person to do that as well. For a non-white person to think that it's okay just to do that.
It was. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't one of the people that was participating in the thing that they should have stayed in their lane with. It wasn't them. It was someone else, and they proceeded to yank my hair, and I'm what the fuck did you do that for? And they're just oh, I thought it was a wig. And I'm well, it's not. It's my natural hair. And it was, because I was I wanted to have my curls out for Juneteenth. And what? So you wanted to rip my wig off in the party? You wanted to embarrass me in front of everybody because we're friends? How?
Yeah, there was no.
What synapses were firing in your brain that made you think that this was a good idea?
So either way, you're getting a beat down.
I mean,
it's just like, how's it gonna happen?
I mean, in that moment in time, I was more concerned with us having a good day because we all can't get together all the time. So I really put all of my feelings and emotions to the back seat because we never get together, and this is a big deal for us to be celebrating together. But in that moment, that person pulling my hair, even as an air quote joke, because you don't put your hands on people.
There's no fun punchline in that. Like, either you're hurting someone because it's the real hair, or you embarrass them in public and because it's a wig. Like, what do you get from that?
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense. Is there anything else that I'm missing from that party?
No, that's the main thing. Actually, so there is a thing that you missed from the party. It was like when the individuals who were outside of our ethnic group were invited, we were like, oh, we didn't realize that you were just inviting extra people because it was Juneteenth for Black Americans. That's the only people we invited. We didn't invite our besties. We didn't invite our allies. We just invited Black Americans.
We didn't invite our spouses or partners.
It's like, if you weren't a Black American, you weren't invited. It wasn't that we hate you, but it was like, what's going on here? It's not like we don't like them. They're amazing people.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're
but
lovely people.
It was just
still.
a miscommunication that they were unfortunately brought into that kind of made things weird around them as well. And so that was the main lead up to it. Because after that situation, the whole party got tense. And we all started looking at the clock. I'm like, you know what? It's a Sunday. I could go home.
Yeah.
Like I looked at Drew, I looked at Nicole. Nicole was done. She was absolutely done, and I was done before because I was sitting across from it happening. I'm like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. Well, that's me done. And then the texts were flying.
Yeah.
The texts were flying. I'm like, y'all ready to go? Because I'm ready to go.
Correct. Because it was just like, man, it was just like the vibe was so crazy and it was so weird, and there were people there not wearing panties.
Part though, I thought we were gonna start at her mention. I'm just like, the girl was out there with the poom poom, and like,
I know.
Okay, I'm on day 3 in my attire. Okay? I'm on day 3, but at least I got drawers on. Okay.
Wait. Okay.
I know.
We do need to talk. We do need to talk about it.
Yeah, we do need to talk because this was one of the decisions again that was made haphazardly because the person that was hosting met this other person the night before.
Yep.
And we'll call her Beverly. We're like, I'm going to invite Beverly to the party tomorrow. Does anybody have a problem with that? We were just like, oh, well, it's your house. You can invite whoever you want. And they were like, yeah, I know, but I just wanted to check with the group. And we were like, okay, point still stands.
Yep.
The person that they ended up inviting, Beverly, was just, I don't know. I just don't know if I would
associate with her on a normal basis.
I mean,
I was thinking it.
The theme was cozy and comfort, and then this person proceeded to wear a T-shirt with no panties to the party, and then asking you to record her twerking. Richard, no?
Oh, no. I was on my phone texting, like, oh, I thought you were recording me, and I looked up, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. He was like, I think Richard literally said, well, no, it would be porn because you're not. Because it was very obvious that her, like, you know, she wasn't wearing any underwear. And it was just
a very short skirt, which, again, I'm a fan of short skirts, but when we tell you the theme is cozy and it's an indoor event, and it's like 2 p.m.
2 p.m. in the afternoon.
And there's people you're just meeting, I don't know that would be my first thing. And
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I can't.
That's cozy at home.
Yeah, that's cozy alone.
I don't know if I've ever been that comfortable around, you know. I don't know, but maybe, perhaps.
I mean, maybe she was just trying to bend that ass over, let that coochie.
God, not that she was. Not she was trying to be sexy red. Not she was trying to be sexy red. Again, she wasn't a nasty person or anything like that. But once again, it was just like, oh, wow, this is all happening. And then once that conversation happened with why would you invite somebody to something that was supposed to be sacred and full of care and protected, it was just kind of treated so haphazardly and was just like another kind of party. And I'm like, wow, that's really not how a lot of us saw it. Some of us actually saw this to have a bit of reverence to it. You know, It's special. Like we're all getting together. So then after you pull my hair and... Yeah, I guess I could have and should have addressed it in that moment, but I was more concerned about the day and us having a good time.
I don't feel that you are obligated to correct other people about themselves. Like, that's not necessary, especially if someone can't realize that was inappropriate on their own. I don't know that you had to further inconvenience yourself in a situation that was, one, embarrassing and or hurtful, to also be like, I'm going to be the person and tell you about yourself while I am processing these feelings. I don't think that was on you.
Well, I appreciate that. I think I probably do regret not doing something more, just slapping the shit out of them. But then again,
But then
that's
that
probably
would
not.
have caused
Yeah,
drama
exactly. That
and
would have caused way more.
controversy, and like that would have. Well,
More-
we're leaving now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
more
maybe not
emotionally.
slapping somebody, but maybe I wish I would have handled it differently. But hindsight is always 20/20.
And you learn from it. And like
Yeah.
if something like that happens going forward, you will operate differently. But in the moment, you did what felt best and the best you could do. And I think that was important.
Yeah,
But I'm
no, I
also
appreciate
really
that.
proud of you as well at the same time for unfortunately having to be reserved, but knowing yourself well enough to be like, ooh, that was okay. Mental note, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Because at a younger age, back in the States,
Yeah.
shit would have went down like
For real.
left real quick and like, well, that's not my fault.
Correct, because you don't
You did
put
some
sh-
dumb shit.
Correct. You do not put your hands on somebody, especially for no reason. Like I didn't do anything to you.
Yeah,
I wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to somebody else and you reached and grabbed my hair. But from that moment, I just knew, I was just like, you know what? I think my time has come. Like, I think the time is over. And I said to Richard, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to just leave the group chat. I think my time with it is done. And I ended up writing a message that, I don't know, not that exact day, but like a couple days later, like, hey guys, it's been real. I have fun. You know, deuces, it's been good. Essentially, and like, you know where to find me. And then I left.
And then mass exodus happened after.
I couldn't believe that. That was not even my, it was not my intention.
It was my intention.
It was not my intention.
When Nicole told me that she was leaving, I fully agreed as well. Over the process of helping this group chat, when I created it like a year or two before that all happened, I was like, open it, everyone come in, Noah's Ark, get your asses in here, we're all in this together. But like through the process of kind of was reminded of something my grandma used to say, all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Correct.
And it was just a reminder that, yes, while we may still look the same and while ideally would have that camaraderie, which a lot of us do, by no means am I saying it's a be-all, end-all, there are some people like you may look like us, but you were raised differently. Like, we don't have that common experience, and that's what we're bonding over, and that's what we were trying to bond over. And not everyone has that same experience, so you still have to, I don't want to say vet people, but you do have to vet people because the people you keep around you form your opinion, they form your energy. They'll elevate your circle or they'll fuck up your energy. And realistically, you can't just assume that, yes, because we're all black and brown, we're down together. That's not necessarily the case. And with the group chat, people were adding each other left and right. It's like, oh, I met so-and-so yesterday. Cool, great. I met this person in passing. Like, there was no, I don't know, I can't vouch for this person, but let me invite them into this fairly intimate group chat because it started, there were like 8 of us.
Yeah, and that's a sacred, intimate space.
It is. It's supposed to be like cultivated, not just slapped together, you know?
Yeah.
And I had met other Black Americans and everything that I kept my friendship with them. Alexis, who ended up coming to the party. Shout out to Alexis. She's such a sweet girl. She was here on the foreign exchange program doing a semester here in Australia.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, little
Yeah.
Alexis. You had a very
Yeah.
lovely conversation with her.
Oh, yeah.
She was so
So
sweet.
sweet.
But I was like, well, I'm not going to throw her into this big group chat. But when we do have something together, I'm certainly going to
Extend the
invite
invite,
her.
yeah.
Just, and not because she acts a certain way or anything. I just had a bit more care about it. And I'm like, you know, we'll wait to see if it works out that way. We'll have her come back into this group, you know, have a bit more FaceTime. And then if she feels comfortable being added to the group, then we'll do it that way. But people were just meeting people and just slapping them in the group. And turns out this, like, they're like, oh yeah, I met this guy. I put him in the group. And it's like, okay, well, this guy is friends with somebody else's ex here in the group chat. Why would you add them?
Yeah, and I'll speak on that because that one pertains to me.
Oh, okay. I
I
was
was
trying
like,
to.
you're doing a vague story. Like, at what point was I been scared to say something on this podcast?
No, not scared, but it's just like you.
No, so like this individual, but like messaged us randomly at like midnight. We were out and about on a day out, and since we already told the story about the person who I can't be friends with anymore. After that person, we're like, hey, we can't just throw people in the group chat just because we just met them. And it's like, cool, we got to vet them first. And this person messaged the group saying, hey, I just met this cool guy tonight. Can I add him to the group chat? And I was like, yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. But like, we'll get breakfast. We'll do vet. I think actually, Drew, you said we'll get breakfast.
Oh,
I think
that comment.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think you said we'll get breakfast. We'll vet them. And then the guy messaged me privately like, hey, can you add the guy? I can't figure it out. I'm like, we'll do it tomorrow because we haven't met this person. We're not just throwing them into the group chat. It turns out that this person met this new character at my ex's house at a games night. And he didn't think that my ex could be fucking him. Like, he didn't think that this new person at my ex's house
But
could be
did
a person of
he
interest.
know that that was your ex to begin with?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Oh,
He absolutely knew. I met him through my ex. He knew that was my ex.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. I met this individual through my ex, so there's no way he didn't know. He met this person at my ex's house. Well, he hosted a games night and said, hey, I met a Black American. So he just wanted to dump Black people together. Like, context would have been important. And he was fully missed. And that was one of the things, like, the group was getting so big.
It was like a hurricane. It was gaining power and getting sloppy.
And it was like they would just post random things. It was never a cohesive group at a certain point. It grew beyond its means. And so when Nicole was like, I'm leaving, I'm like, honestly, every single time something goes down this group, I get blamed or asked to mediate or do things. I'm like, I don't want this anymore. I've met some incredible people, and I'm happy to continue to build community. But this group chat as a whole has outgrown its purpose. So I wrote some heartfelt things like, hey guys, been a wonderful run. The memories have been countless, yada, yada. Be blessed. And then I left. And then the mass exodus started.
Yeah. And then people are reaching out, kind of being like...
nosy.
Like the person...
What happened?
Yeah, like the hair yanker reached out to me and was just like, oh, girl, I saw you left the group chat. Like, what's going on? And I... Like, you know. You know what's going on.
You know what you did?
You know what you did. And yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to stay in a place where I don't feel safe anymore. And I didn't feel safe. I no longer felt safe because I no longer felt safe around that individual and then anyone who would excuse said behavior.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was fun until it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess the weird thing about it is because when that went down, we were supposed to record the very first episode of this, and everyone was really like, a few days after everyone abandoned the group chat, we were supposed to record this, and I was just kind of like, do you want to skip? You want to take a break? And Nicole was like, no, we still need to record it. Like, we were excited about this. We wanted to do this. And it turned into something amazing and wonderful. But the main reason of us bringing this up was because it's not all sunshine and rainbows, and we're not going to pretend that this has been a perfect bump-free journey for any of us.
Totally.
While we found some of our incredible friends, and even after that group chat died, a lot of people who we still talk to on a regular basis, we still have like middle mini group chats. I'm in a billion group chats. I wish I wasn't. But the group chat creation served a purpose, and it was a wonderful purpose, and I have no regrets about that.
Correct.
But also knowing when a group chat or a singular friendship has run its course has been super helpful in this last year or so, because not everything will stay for the same. Not all skin folk are kinfolk, and you have to choose your own people always and constantly check in and maintain those relationships because they are growing and evolving just like you are. Platonic relationships and connections are just like actual relationships. You can't just assume that Bae is going to be there for you. You can't just assume that they like this. Sometimes they change it. Sometimes they grow. We're all growing, and being willing to accept that has been like the pivotal point of which friendships have continued to grow with me.
Yeah. You should always be shedding your skin, and sometimes when that happens, you grow further apart from people, and that's okay, because that doesn't mean you should stop growing because of other people. You have to keep doing what is best for yourself. And then if there's a relationship that's no longer, I say fruitful. I keep coming back to these fruit metaphors.
You do love a little.
I love
she's
some
a little
fruits.
fruity.
I do love. I am a little fruity. I do like, call me Chiquita Banana. Give me the hat.
Stop.
Yeah, it's okay to say goodbye to things. Goodbyes are fine. It may hurt like hell in the beginning, but I genuinely believe you will be better for it. So it's better to just let go of the things that are not meant for you, so you can go and find the things that are meant for you.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Yeah.
And the people that are right will be willing to get to know the new you that you evolve into every single time.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, meeting the new person, because it's not an assumption that you will still be anything other than kind. And as best you can, do no harm, take no shit. The right people will be willing to get to know you again. It's like, I'm evolving into this. Like, oh, I love that. I'm evolving into this. Like, oh, that's spicy too. Like, all of my friends' lives, like, it's like my favorite TV shows. Like, oh,
Yes.
what happened on today's episode? Like, what? Oh, look at the character arc, highs, lows, in betweens. It's just fun for me because like they're still the same person. They just have new attachments. They have new upgrades. They have new.
A Dyson vacuum cleaner. Shout out to Dyson vacuums.
I know they're listening.
Y'all suck in a good way. But before we wrap this up, maybe we can give our listeners ideas on where to meet and make new friends.
First and foremost, they should start off with this podcast. This podcast is your new group chat. So welcome.
Listen to our podcast and then talk about it with your friends.
Yes.
Talk about it to other people.
And that's how you build community.
Come on. Full circle. Come on, business minds. Richard, how about you?
Similar to what I said in the community episodes, making friends through groups, joining activities. Like I joined the volleyball team for a little bit. That's how I got to meet a lot of people.
Cute.
There's different little book clubs and activities every year. There's all these street fairs that happen with different cultural backgrounds that you can meet people. Midsummer itself also has an org fair, if you want to call it that, of people who are out and about. And Melbourne Central oddly has a lot of things posted up on the walls where you can see what's happening around Melbourne. But a lot of it is word of mouth, so looking for those resources, like finding where there's people collectively gathering for things. People outside the library are always handing out shit. A lot of people are like, come join our things. A lot of it's about Chinese organ harvesting, but that's an organization as well. Make some friends there. I don't know, just be creative.
Yeah, I think, I agree. I think heartache is unavoidable. That is just a condition of the human experience, but that does not mean that you should stop trying. So you just got to keep putting yourself out there, even if it's uncomfortable. Just be uncomfortable for a little bit. You really grow in those spaces. I've decided to do a thing now that Beyonce is going to be having her country. We haven't mentioned her this whole episode, so it's about time. She's going into her country era, so I am going to be taking line dancing classes. And I've actually ended up making a few friends there. Yeah. Some Black Australians were in this line dancing class, and I ended up becoming friends with them. And all because I wanted to try something new. I feel like when you put yourself in a place that you're supposed to be, even if it feels uncomfortable, I feel like the universe rewards you with people and experiences. But you just gotta take the risk. Just take the chance. Jump in the pool.
I'm not jumping in the pool. I'll put my feet in because that shit's cold.
Right? I can slowly dip in.
Slowly dip in.
Or just sit
slowly dip in or cannonball. It doesn't, as long as you get in. As long as you give it a go.
As long as you go to the pool. Because sometimes you got to sit there and look cute. And because you make friends who are at the pool. The metaphor's gotten a little literal, but that's okay.
But, yeah.
What about you, Drew? Do you have any more tidbit and tangerinis to add in?
Well, you guys have said it, but I'll say it again. Community is wonderful. It's amazing. I cherish our community like it is my child. I nurture this, the friendships, the camaraderie, the love, the one-on-one dinner catch-ups, the nights out. Just, it's all amazing. But at the same time, you do have those instances where shit's not right. And then sometimes you got to talk about it. But you can have that conversation, hash it out, and just go on. And when you know better, you do better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like learning from one another. These are life skills or just experiences that I wouldn't trade. And even the bad ones.
Even the bad ones
come from a good fucking story.
Totally.
Yeah,
I mean, like
absolutely.
you learn from the experience.
Again, my friends are amazing. To grow together, to laugh together, and I'm excited to see where we are in years' time.
Me too.
Not like tomorrow, next year. I mean like a good 40, 50 years.
Okay,
like,
hold up now. You know I'm allergic to time, Drew. You know I have an allergy. No, I'm just kidding. No, it will be really thrilling to see where we're at down the road.
And if the life that we're living is any precursor to what will be next for us, fuck. You better strap in because this ride is about to get real.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Get the strap.
I'm excited. Not the strap. Let's leave the strap at home.
Some of them carry it in their backpacks, and I think that's fine.
It's not in this bag. It's
You said strap on? What?
I wasn't going.
Oh my gosh.
Drew, thank you again so much for coming, especially because you have not gone home yet.
But I have slept.
You have our audience. He has slept, so let's just clear that up right now.
Thanks for having me. As always, it's been a pleasure, and I love our little community.
As do I.
Me too.
Until next time, this is Richard.
I'm Nicole.
And this has been Melody in Melbourne.
See ya.
This has been Melanated in Melbourne, a podcast that analyzes the Australian lifestyle from the lens of two Black American besties. Visit us at melanatedinmelbourne.com or follow us on Instagram to send us your comments or questions. Thank you for listening.